faced with the threat of being inside in police custody, in adult custody, you have what is essentially a hostage video that has come out. So the police have possibly knowingly acted beyond the law, because it's not as if the parents would have definitely told the police person that, look, she's only 15 years old. But no, they registered it as a 25-year-old. That they've taken very stern action against this particular protester, irrespective of the age. Secondly, and more importantly, they wanted it to have a chilling effect on other young people. Those who went to the protest, many of them will be wondering, why was there a video of us saying something? Is that video being forwarded to the police? Will the police turn up at my door? What will my parents say? The late President Nixon once said, Richard Nixon, that when you have them by the throat, their hearts and minds will follow. So obviously, this was as a result of a lot of pressure, including pressure by the police.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. Gen Z protest has exposed the dark underbelly of our society, especially during the Modi regime in the last 12 years. And today I'm going to talk about a video apology of a 15-year-old teenager, which was all over the town. People had exposed her face, and what we know currently is that she is under immense trauma. And just to give you a little sequence of what happened. She was supposed to be a CJP protester accused of using abusive language against Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and this was on July 23rd protest at Delhi's Jantar Mantar. She apologized in a video that surfaced online. She has now claimed, and she, in fact, first she was made out to be a 25-year-old girl, but later on, when she recorded her video apology, she said, I'm a 15-year-old girl. And in that viral video, she is heard saying that, she was misled by her friends, and she acknowledges that what she did was wrong. And in fact, with folded hands, she apologizes, and this video went viral on the social media. Now, what she said exactly, I'm going to quote that: I came under the influence of those people. I'm only 15 years old. Whatever I did was not worthy of forgiveness. I have said a lot of bad things. And calling it her first and last mistake, she adds, saying that I apologize to the entire country. I'm so ashamed. I can't even look at myself. Please forgive me. And it was so traumatic to watch that girl, where she got exposed all over the media, and none of the media channels bothered to blur the face because she was a minor. First of all, the police made it out as a case of a 25-year-old girl. God knows why and how they didn't verify the age of the girl. But what we are currently knowing through the sources is that entire family is under immense trauma. In fact, the mother has apparently said that we fear for our life, and we've already, the girl has already apologized. And since Prime Minister Modi has said that he will forgive all the students, so let the chapter end here. But will the chapter end here? The kind of trauma and what is the kind of impact it could lead on the other teenagers who raised their voices, who protested, the kind of FIRs which were lodged against the protesters. One should not forget the kind of trauma which they had to go through. And also, not to mention the 19-year-old Sahil Lochak, against whom the pellet guns were fired. In Patna, you had police using AK-47. Still, we do not have any answers coming in from the Home Minister. And today also, the two houses of the parliament got adjourned. One, of course, was the biggest issue, that why is Home Minister Amit Shah not giving a reply, and the second was the Ram Mandir Chanda Chori. But as we begin the discussion with our esteemed guest today, let me give you a little slice of what the student protest has had an impact on the electoral prospects of the BJP. As we speak, the final tally on the Bankipur and the Datia bypolls are almost going to freeze. And what we are told is that it's a huge shock for BJP in Datia as well as Bankipur, where Prashant Kishore had fielded himself. And the leads are also quite wide. So, did this student movement have an impact on these by elections? All these are accumulated factors on which we will talk about. And of course, the legal and the social aspect around this 15-year-old teenager, where the media has been irresponsible, the police has been irresponsible, and society still has to answer many, many questions. Joining me this evening is a constitutional expert and Supreme Court lawyer, Sanjay Hegde. Mr. Hegde, thank you so much for joining. And my first question, sir, is that when we say that the police was irresponsible in handling this 15-year-old teenager, if I may ask you to analyze this case legally, how would you really estimate this case?
See, anybody who is not an adult is treated as a juvenile and has the protection of the Juvenile Justice Act. So, this was only a case of some slogan shouting. Maybe the slogans were distasteful. There was no cause to treat this as a criminal case in the first instance. But now, when you treat it as a criminal case and you want to take a child in custody, how do you do it? You do it by saying that no, the person is not a child. She's not 15 but 25. Where did you get that magic figure from? Did you ask the parents? No, you got that 25-year-old from the media or from social media, and somebody who decided to dox her, who decided to figure out where she lived, what she worked, where she worked, and put it out. Then, so faced with the threat of being inside in police custody, in adult custody, you have what is essentially a hostage video that has come out. So the police have possibly knowingly acted beyond the law, because it's not as if if the parents would have definitely told the police person that look, she's only 15 years old. But no, they registered it as a 25-year-old.
What I'm surprised about is that the police must have seen the video of that girl where she was abusing the prime minister from a social media account. And even then, most of the teenagers, they do give out their age, they do give out where they live or where they come from. And the police didn't bother to check that. And all of a sudden, they arrived at a figure of 25 years old, assuming that she's a 25-year-old. And so, what do you think was the intention of the police? The police deliberately did this and they wanted to take the custody of the child. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, in this particular case, they wanted to show the people at the top who told them just roll up this protest, that they've taken very stern action against this particular protester, irrespective of the age. Secondly, and more importantly, they wanted it to have a chilling effect on other young people. Those who went to the protest, many of them will be wondering, why was there a video of us saying something? Is that video being forwarded to the police? Will the police turn up at my door? What will my parents say? While the target was this particular girl, the message was for every young person who protested or even thought of protesting.
But when I'm sure you must have also seen the video apology of that girl. Does it look like a coercive apology? I'm sure the person who's folding her hands and saying that, I did what I was not supposed to do. And whereas in the video, when you see, she's doing it as her choice. So, are we in a position to say that that was a coercive video apology?
Well, that's a simple answer. Do you think that she would have put out an apology video if the police had not turned up at her house? If her name had not been flashed on the news channels and on social media? Obviously, this was not done with the same free will with which she launched the original protest. It is not as if she went home after the protest and then had a change of heart and put out an apology video. The late President Nixon once said, Richard Nixon, that when you have them by the throat, their hearts and minds will follow. So obviously, this was as a result of a lot of pressure, including pressure by the police.
Uh, uh, the police, there is no doubt that the police went wrong with the handling of the case. Now, what should be the action against the police? Is it a trauma that the nation can easily forget that, okay, Prime Minister has said that I will forgive, so now it's a forgotten chapter? What if the police repeats this kind of a horrendous act?
If unpunished, the police will repeat it. Wherever they can get away with it, they will do it. It is only if an example is made of policemen that the next time there is an illegal order like this, can the policeman say, Sir, you remember what happened to the policeman in that case? I don't want to get caught. If you are giving me an order like this, do you mind putting it in writing? See, when you work for a government, you receive all kinds of orders. Many of those orders sometimes go beyond the law. You are responsible as a government servant if you go beyond the law. You have no special immunity from the law. At such points of time, the safest safeguard is to get orders in writing.
No, but it would sound a little weird, but shouldn't there be a tit for tat action for the policemen as well? It was a coercive video apology. Shouldn't the police be doing the same in front of the family of that 15-year-old kid?
No, the police should not be putting out an apology video, and even if they are willing to do so, what should be done is
Action
to take
against him.
disciplinary action.
Right.
What is to be done is to take necessary criminal action against under the relevant section, including the POCSO.
No, but sir,
Today,
who is going
today,
to
listen,
initiate
listen,
that
listen.
action?
Today, the policeman has recorded this girl with folded hands. Tomorrow, a policeman may very well come into a house and tell a kid, "Murga bano," and then take a video. So, this kind of rot, especially with children of India, has to be nipped in the bud.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you're putting this out in the strongest of words. But who's going to take action against such erring policemen when you have a home minister who's just not ready to face the house? 20th July, the police crackdown happened, and it's 3rd of August today. We've not seen and heard Amit Shah at all speaking. How do we expect that there could be action against such policemen?
Obviously, unless there is force, unless there is a political cost to such things, action will not be taken. The poor child and her parents are in no position to insist on action being taken.
And
What
I'm
is
sure they
being
would not lodge a complaint also. Why would the
They
parents
will
now
not.
lodge a complaint?
They will not. It will be incumbent upon those who led the movement and on the courts also to ask the tough questions. How was it that this particular video was shot and put out?
So, are you suggesting that the courts or maybe the CJI should be taking a suo motu cognizance of this particular video apology?
See, suo motu is suo motu, which means of its own motion.
Yes.
These days, courts do not, of their own motion, take action. Not in all cases, anyway. Very few cases. Uh, there is nothing which prevents, since the event happened in Noida, there's nothing which prevents even the Allahabad High Court from taking action. There's nothing which prevents the uh, the National Commission for Children, which is otherwise hyperactive when it comes to madrasas,
Yes.
from issuing a notice and having an inquiry. There's nothing which prevents the National Human Rights Commission from inquiring into the matter. But as Dinkar said, समर शेष है पाप का भागी ये न केवल व्याध जो तटस्थ रहे समय लिखेगा उनका भी अपराध. We have a sense of institutions that prefer not to take action and to remain tatastha.
But sir, to say that the institutions have failed that little 15-year-old girl would be an understatement. But as you said that there should be disciplinary action against the police. Could there be a PIL filed in this particular case? How will this matter come up? Supposing if the courts also don't take up this issue, like you said, that the National Child, the Human Rights Organization can take it up, Allahabad High Court can take it up, Supreme Court can take it up. But if they fail to do so, what is the option left then?
The option then left, of course, is for some public spirited citizen to approach the courts. But if the courts then refuse, they that little what shall we say, that little hope also gets extinguished.
But sir, are you hopeful because it directly relates to the Prime Minister that how on earth could you abuse your Prime Minister? Now that is the underlying sentiment with which I'm sure the police has acted, with which once upon a time, like just a few days ago, we heard Chief Justice Surikant also saying that I don't have time to see the videos of the police barbarity, and he actually refused it. So, what's the hope left? Can we really be hopeful that this matter is going to be taken up by any of these institutions?
I I hope that some institution does take it up. Uh, we are not sure as to which of them, but I would be very surprised if all of them chose the path of silence. Then some public spirited citizen will no doubt prod them into action.
But going
Yeah, but
purely by the
at
law,
the prime ministerial level, at the prime, abusing the prime minister or criticizing the prime minister in the strongest possible terms
right?
is the hallmark of a free society. You see,
No, but
we have been used not so long ago to calling our Prime Minister Mohan Singh. We've been used to so many other things which were being said about all kinds of leaders. There is, if you are in the public space, you need a thick skin. You have no immunity from criticism, even distasteful criticism. There was a political scientist and later a minister in Israel who, when he was in the Soviet Union, Nathan Sharansky, he propounded what was called the town square test. The test basically says that if in a town square a person cannot stand there and criticize or even abuse the leader without fear of imprisonment or of violence of any kind, state or non state, then you are not living in a free society. You are living in a fear society. We do not have kings and emperors in India. We do not have holy touch me nots. We have Pratham Sevaks, Pradhan Sevaks, whatever you call them. And no Sevak is immune from public response.
But what is quite obvious that Prime Minister Modi is saying that even though these students abused my mother, they abused me, I'm ready to forgive them because they were a misled lot. And he started giving a tongue and teeth analogy that sometimes your tongue gets bitten by the teeth, but we don't yank away the teeth from our mouth. This is all what he said. But there is a difference between the cup and the lips, because today only I came across a bite of ex MP Ramesh Biduri, where he likens the student protesters at Jantar Mantar to the children of the puncture walas and the tala walas. Obviously, where it's coming from, everybody knows that the lock makers or the locksmiths are mostly Muslims, the puncture walas are mostly Muslims. And again, he says that they were not students, but they were the children of puncture walas and tala walas. Now, what does that go to show? I mean, uh, is he actually following what the Prime Minister is saying?
Well, let me show one thing, that the Prime Minister's party or the Prime Minister's IT cell or the Prime Minister's goon squads do not follow what the Prime Minister is saying. Or it may be that the Prime Minister is saying things for public consumption but is giving different directions to his goon squads and IT cells. So either the Prime Minister has no control, or he is being duplicitous. What it is, time will tell.
But this entire the way police has handled this student protest, what do you think could be the impact on the teenagers? I'm sure now after this video apology, all the parents also would have got worried. They will ask their children 10 times that, how dare you now go to a protest like what happened at Jantar Mantar? Uh, according to you, what could be the impact now on the teenagers?
I have no idea of what impact it will have on teenagers. And I venture to tell you that most parents have no idea as to what exactly their children think or are up to. I know of people, young people who were beaten in the protests, who have marks on their backs and bodies to show for it. And the moment the pictures went out, their friend said, "How can you get beaten all alone? We will stand. We will come to the protests ourselves." There were also children of people who are in government, people who are supporters of the ruling party, who said, "After this, we will never vote for the BJP." So, the more the repression, the more the pushback. And young India is essentially irreverent. Young India does not necessarily feel that there is an aura to people, or a kind of holy touch me not to them. Young India is saying that A, their education is being interfered with, B, that their exams are not being fairly conducted, C, that even when they come out after a bad education system and bad exams into the market, there are no jobs for them. So a lot of people do not necessarily see a future except of large emptiness and pain.
Uh,
Many of them sometimes may want to be in glorious protest. That is when they feel most alive.
Absolutely. No, but do you think the results which we are seeing in Bankipur and Datia in MP, where it's almost like a shocker, BJP wouldn't have thought. Bankipur is BJP President Nitin Nabeen's conventional stronghold, and BJP is shell shocked how Prashant Kishore is winning from there. Similarly, Datia, where Narottam Mishra, the former Home Minister, was denied a ticket, and people have been saying that Narottam Mishra's Karyakartas actually helped the Congress win that by-election. Now, what did these two by-election results do you think is a referendum of this student movement which happened? Because that election, the voting happened in the middle of this student movement when it was happening, and the counting again is happening today when the embers haven't died down.
Well, it could be a referendum, but please look at the students' movement itself. Did anybody expect it to come up so suddenly and with that ferocity? What it only shows you is that there is great discontent in the country. There is also a feeling that it has been taken for a ride for far too long. There is another feeling that these people cannot shout and cow us down. So there is a huge protest vote to be harnessed. Somebody like Prashant Kishore, who comes from the same place, speaks the same language in Bhojpuri and everything, could carry that particular constituency. I venture to say, I've always said it, that a strong Hindi speaking North Indian upper caste voice emerging from the heartland can be the new story. This has happened before with Indira Gandhi and Jayaprakash Narayan, or with VP Singh and Rajiv Gandhi. So, whenever there is an over-strong government, the heartland does give them a long rope, but it is unforgiving when there is lack of performance.
You're not a political analyst, sir, but I'm taking the liberty to ask you this last question: that do you sense from this student movement, or could you say that you're sensing this beginning of the end of BJP in a way?
No, see, the BJP will not end. It articulates a particular kind of ideology which exists in a section of India, maybe upper caste India, maybe there are times when that grouping widens out, but there is an equal section which believes in the idea of an India, of an equal India, an India where everybody walks together. One thing that I was told about this movement was about the protests was the sense of fraternity that was visible there. People were fanning each other. People knew how to share their water. People knew how to share their food. That kind of fraternity you will never get by launching hate campaigns as the BJP does. It may not be the end of the BJP, but
Surely
or
you see the
I
end of
think
this hate campaign.
electorally, people may be tired of what the BJP is selling and might be willing to hear a different story.
Absolutely. So, are you sensing that now in the coming elections next year, major crucial states will be going to polls? Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Goa, Punjab. Are these states not going to see these hateful campaigns or communal polarization because BJP would have tasted what has happened during the student movement, and that could backfire? So, will they have to go back to the drawing board and think of something really new which is sellable?
I wish I could be that sanguine about the BJP, but they do not have anything else to sell. They will most probably double down on their hate campaigns. There will be newer and newer targets. They are only waiting for somebody to speak out of turn and for public mood to change. They do believe that having fooled all the people for at least 12 years, they can fool them for much more time.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Hegde, for a lovely interview, and I'm sure you, with your strongest of words, I hope this interview is watched by the people in the power and see what is coming their way. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure, sir, having you on the program.
Thank you.